I want to show you the art of the possible with Archi, which is just a phenomenal tool which I've been building out over the last year to 2 years, running my architecture team, specifically enterprise and solution architecture. I've used a number of these tools, at least 3 and more, which are not listed on here: Alphabet, Mega, and they're all okay. What I'd like to take you through over the next few videos, depending if people like these things, these are the particular views and approaches that I've built out. End-to-end application views, which is where I start, and what I need is a functional decomposition and data decomposition so I can understand the duplication in my portfolio. Okay. Second is the integration map, so I need to know integration flows, integration styles. I want an interface catalog and API catalog. Current versus target viewpoints, especially using the Gartner time classification: tolerate, invest, modernize or migrate, and eliminate. Roadmaps, which you might not believe you can do really well with Archi as far as I'm concerned, better than I can do with any of those tools. So now next and later roadmaps, and you can do gap analysis. And then the data model, which is something that I've come to in the last few months. Really understanding how to map the application data to a business object data and have a canonical model and be able to do some analysis around the fragmentation of your data. Okay, so let's start with the first one. To create the application views, you have to create some reference models for your organization. You need a capability model, and I work in the area of corporate functions, so this is a simplified capability model. And then I've got an organizational structure, just a pretend organization, center and 3 divisions, and then I align things to value streams. Again, it's corporate functions, not customer facing, so you don't see customer facing value streams here. And already you can see that I've done some things to make the models look pretty. So using specializations, you know, how can I make the models usable with stakeholders? Archimate is probably not pretty enough. They're used to PowerPoint, so it's can I create viewpoints which are pretty? So let me very quickly show you how I build up application end-to-end views. Okay, so we start with an application service, very popular corporate functions people application or finance application is Workday. Okay, so we start with that really. And there's a few things straight away from my perspective which don't work. First of all, I need a standard set of properties with every application service. So here you can see I've got lots of different properties, owning business area, using business area, blah blah blah, RTO, RPO, some time stuff there, some default things. So straight away I'm kind of getting a start to my meta model around the application portfolio. And then this particular look, I'm not mad on it, these colors, so I just do a set default look, and suddenly it's prettier for me in terms of what I need. Okay, the next bit is something that I developed over probably 6 weeks or so, but it's how to build up this application service and all the relationships to my reference models. Let me select it. So this is the GUI that I've built out. Quite a rich GUI, and some of these things are for updating the properties. Some things are for creating relationships with the business capabilities, the owning business area, etc., etc. And as you'll see, some things are about accelerating the productivity of my architects because I don't want them drawing stuff. It's too slow. I need them to be quick. I need this model to be as rich as possible, the underlying model. So using business area, let's just pick some of these so I can show you. Owning business area, business capabilities, and you can go down and say, well, it's HR ops, which is Workday, and let's say it's hire to retire. Functions, okay. So here we can put a list of onboarding, performance reviews, holidays, and then we got some data objects, employees a data object, performance. We've got holiday schedule, you know, something which reflects it. It's a bit noddy, really. Okay, components, underlying components. So this could be the SaaS cloud, you know, it could be in AWS, and it could be using Dynamo. You could put things, you don't need to put anything in the component list. RPO, it's up to you, you know, it might be 1 hour, I don't know what Workday is, service criticality. This is critical infrastructure, hosting model, it's in a SaaS model, confidentiality, it's confidential data, Maximum total time. Well, it's definitely an invest here. We're talking about delivery model. Platform, has it got any PII? Yes. Has it got no in? We've got nothing in our property. Okay. So this is the interesting bit. So now we've got some kind of setup, and I can click multiple things here, by the way. I can say two of those. So I press save, and here you can see very quickly it's built out my model. So it's redrawn it. I click on here, and you can see through the visualizer I've got all my relationships here. So I've got my data objects, I've got my functions, I've got my value stream, I've got my two business capabilities, I've got my components, and I've got my perform, which is really useful when you start to do reverse lookup on the reference model. So if I go back to my capability model and I start clicking on HR Ops, I can see straight away the reverse lookup. And of course, in my portfolio, I might have many applications doing HR Ops. So I can see the duplication in the portfolio. Also can see the duplication within just the functional model itself. That's a very simple one-off, which I can move around very nicely, but I can build up a nice portfolio. The second bit, of course, is the relationship between things and how you create flows between your applications. That I'm going to talk about next time if I get positive feedback about this video. Thank you.